Hello, y'all. Hey, welcome back. Or if it is your first time, welcome. I kind of hate that intro, for real. It's like, makes it sound like we're exclusive. Which we totally are. It's just like, we shouldn't sound like it. I know, but really, today is an important video. Excuse the fact that we are going to use real light because that's when I look best. But the clouds are moving in the sky. They are doing their job, I'm doing mine. And so we're just gonna live with that. Gosh, have I lost all my viewers within the first 4 minutes of this video? Don't notice that my house looks like a home at the moment. I like my house to look like no one lives here, and unfortunately we do live here. Not unfortunately that we live here, but it looks like we do. So you guys, let's get on to the topics at hand. And the first topic on hand is a list of recommendations. Yay, yay, yay! Now these recommendations are to be taken with a grain of salt because I'm talking about books today that I have not read. But they are all going to be kind of within that medieval time period. Some might be like outliers a little bit, but I really wanted it to carry the vibes of like knights in armor, heroines also in armor, a little bit Arthurian. You know, we're bridging a lot of gaps. And do not correct me if something is not strictly medieval. I do not care. So, you guys, I'm so excited to first and foremost give you some reading ideas. Some of these ideas, you know, I'm taking for myself. If you want an even longer list of medieval recommendations, anywhere I review books, Goodreads, Storygraph, I'm kind of shaky on some other platforms on if they ever get the reviews or not. But I'm going to put together some lists so you can go look at those because I have been filtering through a lot of books, and we have at least like 20 or so on that list. So again, if you have any recommendations for others, please leave them below. I will add them to these lists. But this is just giving us somewhere to start for book club for the next 2 months. So quick book club pitch. We will get into some book recs. And then at the very end, I will kind of give you some more details on the dates, what we'll be doing, where we'll be chatting. All book club details will come at the end in case you're just here for recs, which is wonderful, beautiful, and I'm happy to see you here. First things first, if you'd like to join book club, we are doing bi-monthly book topics, and you just choose a book within that little niche, within that category to read about. Come to our discussions, maybe make some friends, maybe have little mini book clubs, etc. And then at the end of those 2 months, we chat all about what we read and what we thought. So that's the pitch. I'll have all the information in the description. I have a few different categories of these books to talk about, which makes me so excited because like if you only read horror, if you only read mysteries, if you only read nonfiction, there are books that are gonna work for this book club topic. So I'm so excited to share a couple ideas with you. I'm just gonna start with 2 books that are popular that kind of hit these attributes, this niche we're looking at. And I'm gonna start with, I believe to be the most popular of the moment, and that is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This book is everywhere. Everywhere, you can't escape it. She is well known for her debut duology that I've read and I can't think of the name of. Come on, you guys, you're all screaming at me. What is that one called? Twisted Crowns? Or is that the name of the book? Hello? Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, I do have to look this up. Just make sure I'm not crazy. The Shepherd King duology. Okay guys, that was kind of hard to remember. So this book was nominated for Reader's Favorite Romantasy this last year. So this one is about Sybil, who is a diviner, and she has dreams about the 6 omens, and she can kind of predict people's downfalls, tragedies, terrible, terrible things before they come to fruition. There is a knight who does not really believe in her craft, but there are fellow diviners disappearing and she's going to need his help. I feel like this is quintessential like romantasy for the moment, and I think, is it strictly medieval? I don't know, but I think it kind of hits the right tones. So if this is a popular one you've read or want to pick up, I definitely think a lot of people will pick this one. This next book was actually nominated as Reader's Favorite Fantasy. So this is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. Built a nation and a cowardly historian who travels back in time to make sure she does what she's supposed to do. She plays her part correctly, but that might just end up breaking his heart. The lighting, that was so moody. That's all I really need to know. I don't like knowing too much, but I feel like this one could be really fun. This is fantasy romance as well. The next book is The Once and Future Queen by Paula Lafferty. This one is promoted as an Outlander meets Princess Bride with a sprinkle of Camelot. That is a lot going on. At the core, these next two I'm talking about, this one and the next one, are retellings. This one has fantasy, it's romance. Our main character is Vera, who travels back in time to become Arthur's wife. So that's a lot going on, but I have heard it's a very fresh retelling and it really focuses on a feminist angle on Queen Vera. So that might very well be up your alley, and it is actually a beautiful, beautiful edition. I have it pulled up here, so if you go and buy it, you're not going to be disappointed in how beautiful the book is. So that is my next suggestion. Another retelling that I think focuses a little bit more on the mythology is Morgan Is My Name by Sophie Keach. Also is a feminist retelling. This is about the early life of the famed Morgan Le Fay, set in the backdrop of Arthurian legend. In our story, she is vengeful and brilliant. A king murders her father and tricks her mother into marrying him. And it's about kind of her villain origin story, honestly. I think this one, again, is playing with history, but I feel like sometimes that's the most fun way to like dip your toes into a certain era of history. Moving on to one that is very romantic. I was gonna do a few romance recs, but this is a trilogy that's highly regarded. And I feel like a lot of these fantasy ones have romance mixed in. There will be no lack of romance for us who love a little bit of it. So this trilogy is called The Dark Ages of Britain, and the first one is called The Road to Avalon. These are by Joan Wolfe. It is a recreation of Arthur's court, but with all the main characters really being good, which is not something you see very often. In this realistic retelling, we are getting to see Arthur choosing to be with only one woman and loving them fully. And so I think it's an interesting plot. I think it'll be dramatic and romantic, and I feel like that's what you really want from a historical romance. Next is one that I think I'm gonna have a hard time not picking up. This is The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. This one has been translated to English by William Weaver. It takes place in 1327 Italy, and it is about a brother of Baskerville arriving to investigate a wealthy Italian abbey's residence because they're suspects of heresy. I have heard great things about this mystery. It has won tons of literary awards, so I don't think you could go wrong picking this up. It has so many reviews, you guys. It has 397K reviews, and it still maintains an above 4-star on Goodreads. So that one would honestly be really close to the top of my suggestions to pick up, but of course I haven't gotten to read it yet, but hopefully I will get to in the next 2 months. My next two genres are two that I do not read a lot from. So again, take my suggestions that I found with a grain of salt. I did my best to research people who really enjoy these genres, but we'll start with nonfiction and then end with a couple horror recommendations. My first recommendation is Henry V, The Astonishing Triumph of the Greatest Warrior King. Okay, long title. This one's by Dan Jones. This is a nonfiction biography of Henry V's 9-year reign over England. I think if you are into history, learning a little bit more about that era, this might be one you'd be interested in picking up. The next suggestion is a little different. This is a collection of Arthurian romances. These were all written in that time period. There are 5 stories in total, and they all deal with knights from King Arthur's court. These stories were originally written in French and have been translated to English. So I feel like this is a different way to kind of get a nonfiction feel, because these stories are fictional, I believe, but you are reading stories directly from that period of time. My last 2 are my horror recommendations that I have heard tremendous things about, starting with Between Two Fires by Christopher Bullman. This story takes place in 1348. A disgraced knight finds a young girl who has become orphaned by the Black Death. She is extremely innocent, but she also believes that she has seen the angel of gods. She believes the righteous dead speak to her in her dreams, and he doesn't know if she's delirious, if she has a ton of faith, but it is her belief that the plague is only the start. So it sounds interesting. Again, this is horror, so tread lightly. I do believe, I'm not sure if this one had trigger warnings, but when you're delving into some of these genres, just make sure you check on those for yourself. The next book I'm going to talk about is called Pilgrim, a Medieval Horror. This story in particular is set in 12th century Jerusalem. This story follows a German knight and his companions as they are returning home from battling for God in the Holy Land for 7 years. This tale weaves in history, folklore, and both metaphysical and literal odyssey. I feel like this story is going to be so rich in so many different cultures. I know it has a blend of Arabic, Christian, and pre-Islamic. I think this one could be extremely interesting. Again, I tread lightly in horror, so I'm gonna have to hear from you guys what you think about it if I need to pick it up. You guys, those are all the books! Yay! Now, the more important discussion, which is how are we gonna discuss these books as we read them? Before I get too far from the plot, leave a comment and like the video if you haven't yet. I love a like, just so I'll give you a second. And also you can subscribe. I just didn't know if you guys knew you could, because like the majority of you watch and don't subscribe. So I just want to make sure you know, like that was totally loud. You can go ahead and do that now. And leave me a comment and let me know if any of these books are on your TBR, if you're going to pick any of them up. And if you have your own suggestions, please, and thoughts, just leave them below. I love it. It will make our community so much more collaborative the more you interact. So, the next topic at hand is when, where, what book club. What if we called it that? Who, when, where? Who, when, where book club. But anyways, I don't know that we have a name. Do we have a name? Oh my gosh, you guys. So book club for this channel. We will be discussing books over on Discord. This is like not my first choice. This is my first time truly using Discord, but I think it'll be the easiest for us to split off into different groups who are discussing different books, but all being within the same community and having a general tab to really discuss like things you're learning about in the era. Like if there's something you want to pursue deeper within this topic. So there'll be a general conversation, and then obviously we can do little breakout groups for different people reading different things. People can also do calls and talk on there. So if you have a little group of you that are all reading a certain book, you guys can do a little break-off group and discuss them there. I'm so jazzed about this. I am setting it up as we speak, and it will be linked below. Please come enjoy. and it's low stress, it's low pressure, but I really want us to be able to like enjoy some time as a community together. And as far as date goes for official conversation, we'll probably do 1 or 2 calls officially talking about some books at the end of each month. Those will be posted there, but I also always post those on our like little community tab on here. So if you want to vote on things, look at things, always check there. I will try to mention it in videos and always keep it linked. But without taking another minute from your precious time, thank you for spending this video with me. I can't wait to see you guys over on our Discord. Bye!